You've been assigned, Vivica, to travel back in time during any period prior to the 20th century. Now, which young historical figure do you choose to inspire and why? What story will you tell and why? Take your time. The floor is yours, my friend.
You got it. I chose Alexander the Great, King of Macedonia. I mean, he was a great warrior, which I believe in my heart I am too. Now, if I was to meet him at 5 years old, the main thing that I would say is you're a very, very smart young man. But you have got to make sure that with all of the wonderfulness that is that you're entitled to not be so self-entitled, to enjoy life. He only lived until he was 32 years old. If I would meet him, I would say, young man, enjoy life, live, enjoy all the journeys that you can have, but know that you gotta have patience. Don't put yourself so hard that life goes by so quickly, like myself. It cannot be all work, 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 work. There's nothing wrong with work, because to be successful, one has to work. I understand that. But for myself, I do recall having homes where I would get it, be hustling, headed on to the next thing. Also, that's the circle of people that you never know who around you literally wants to stab you in the back. You don't know how envious they may be of you. So have patience and take the time to really get to know people, because people can be very deceptive.
Like they put you in a box until, you know what?
Yes.
And then Vivica does stuff. And you know what's cool about that project? Everyone thought one thing about her. But the cool thing is, when you did that film, everybody looked a little bit different at how much range and versatility you had as a performer. You shifted your public image. And I saw that. And I said, you know what? I think that's so brave of you. I
have found that versatility has equaled the key to my longevity. You know, I tell young actors all the time, I said, listen, don't be just one note Sally. You have got to be a triple threat. Know how to sing, act, dance.
Now it's not just about getting in front of a camera or getting on a stage. There's a variety of ways that you can show your skills. So I love that Vivica is just, you know, she's kind of gone with the flow and reinvented herself.
Because I left Indianapolis when I was 17 years old in search of a dream. And I had so many people telling me, you'll be back. Watch.
Wow.
You'll be back. Oh, yeah. So, you know, I have a saying, make your haters your congratulators.
I love that.
It's not going to get you and your dream, but you do.
I choose Richard Allen. Richard Allen was a minister and an educator, and actually formed the AME Church, which now we call the African Methodist Episcopal Church. And the reason I know that is because my grandma, I grew up in that church, but I remember so many times her, dragging me to church, making sure that I set up and I listened, I sang the songs and all that. So I chose him, for the reason of the AME Church as I see it today has kind of been stifled and kind of not grown in the way that it has. And as I look into it, and now my mom is highly involved, some of it is just structural stuff. But little man, as you grow older, you'll have an opportunity to really make some changes. So I would tell you, young man, I come all this way to tell you a secret. You're gonna build something. You're gonna build something super special. When you hear music or you see someone helping someone else, when you hear a little kid speaking out, I want you to smile. That means the house is growing. That means the church is alive. That means things are happening in the community. You're gonna remember that I told you that a little boy like me who had a grandma, she took him to a place where there was love, there was acceptance, and all of that.
Vivica, if you could please provide an example of something that your heart has yearned for, that your brain ignored.
What I yearned for, but my heart ignored, was to become a mother. Career became my child. And also I didn't find the right man in my life to start a family with, because children need a family. So I think because my mom was such a huge inspiration and instilled work ethic in me, that I was always taught to work, that I then ignored starting a family. But I one time went to an event and a lady said to me, "Don't you feel empty that you don't have children, that you're not leaving your legacy?" I know, Antonio. She almost got the whole neck roll from me too. But you know what? The audience got her. The audience was like, she has a wonderful legacy. You know, don't think that because she doesn't have a child that she's not validated as a woman. So to all my ladies out there, that if you do choose career over children, know that it's your choice and it's okay.
Antonio, my friend, can you please provide an example of something that your heart yearned for that your brain might have ignored?
You know, I had my first child, my oldest daughter, at 20 years old, really, in college, and worried about how I was going to raise her and all these different things. And so when I think about that, it's kind of easy and hard at the same time. You know, I yearn to be that father that I never had. I didn't grow up with my father. I just wanted to, you know, take another path, be a different kind of dad. And, you know, at the time, you know, with no direction, no attention, just absence, you know, I just kind of felt like I had to create my own sense of what it means to be a dad. I yearned to have that in my heart. I wanted that. But on the opposite end, you know, when I started playing basketball, you know, everything is saying, hey, you in order to do that, you gotta grind. Like I gotta practice. I gotta get better. So that's what I thought, right? You know, sitting here now, you know, that time is just so important to have with your kids, and you miss out on things that you can't get back. Fortunately enough, you know, now that my kids are older, I've had an opportunity to ask for grace and forgiveness and receive that. So we have, you know, a great relationship now. You know, all that happened for a reason. So I'm able to kind of, you know, break this cycle down, and hopefully my son will get married and have a bunch of kids and have a beautiful relationship with his kids and things of that nature. And then I get another chance. You know, I'm a granddad now, so I get to, you know, look back on these moments and provide my daughters, you know, my grandkids with something different. I would hope more wiser, with more experience.
A trio of options, Vivica. Which would you pay for to see and why of the following? Hannibal Lecter as a regular cast member of 90210, Big Bird the Bounty Hunter, or Conan the Librarian?
I would pay to see Big Bird as a
Yes.
as a what?
As a bounty hunter, because
Big
secret's
Bird
out.
as a bounty hunter.
Rumor is, Vivica, that he ruled the streets of Sesame.
Yes, you did. You brought him in. You brought him in. Everybody wants to come by and play with Big Bird.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Big Bird the Bounty Hunter. Which would you pay for to see and why, Vivica, of the following if you have to? Rocky Balboa as a neurosurgeon, Seinfeld the correctional officer, or Rambo the talk show host?
Okay, with that Seinfeld as a what?
A correctional officer.
Yes, Seinfeld as an officer would be off the chain. Add some humor, definitely in there. You know that we would love. You know,
Okay.
Seinfeld is awesome. So yeah,
It's a
I
good
would
pick.
Seinfeld as a correctional officer.
It's a
What
good
would
pick.
he be correcting and how is what I would want to know.
Well, why do they call them bars? You can't drop them or anything or rhyme with them. I don't know. I like that. It's a good pick. Antonio Davis, same option for you, my friend. Which would you pay for to see and why? Hannibal Lecter is a regular cast member of 90210, Big Bird the Bounty Hunter, or Conan the Librarian?
Conan the Librarian. What would that be, man? Just
Scary.
throwing stuff all over the place.